Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm gonna hit y'all with my top 30 hip hop songs of 2021. Let's get to it. Alright, so these are my top 30 rap songs of the year. These are the ones that I tended to play the most when I was riding in the car or when I wasn't listening to a full-length album, so I decided to put them into a playlist on Tidal. I started out with about 60 songs that I rocked with, but then I condensed it down to 30. So I do have these listed in a specific order as I wanted them to flow together like a mixtape. But let me be clear, the order of the playlist does not necessarily reflect the order of importance or the ranking for the songs. It's simply just how I wanted to sequence them in a playlist. For example, the first song on my playlist does not mean that I feel that that is the number one or best song out of these 30, if that makes sense. And I have attached the link in the description box for the playlist. So if you do have Tidal, then you should be able to listen to the link. But with that being said, let me go ahead and hit y'all with this top 30. So the first song that I had to set this off was J. Cole's 95 South, which is a certified banger. The Jay-Z sample was great, and hearing Cam and Lil Jon on the same track together definitely got me hype, and I couldn't think of a more aggressive and hard-hitting way to kick this off. At track 2, I have Moneybagg Yo's Certified Neptunes, produced by Pharrell. I found this to be my most liked song off Moneybagg Yo's A Gangsta's Pain album. The Pharrell production felt like a throwback to his older signature sound with the clips. It's just a good up-tempo and wavy record. For number 3, I have The Ritual by AZ, Conway, and Lil Wayne. This was a standout from AZ's Do or Die 2 that was produced by The Alchemist. I feel everyone came correct over this gritty Alchemist beat, but Lil Wayne definitely bodied it. So I decided to slow it down a little bit for the next track, Wallabies and Gucci Loafers by Flea Lord, Ghostface Killah, and Rock Marciano. This was a fly and mellow song from Flea Lord's Ramel Z album that was produced entirely by DJ Muggs. And this Muggs beat just embodies that 70s blaxploitation flavor. I feel it's the musical equivalent to the movie The Mac, and you gotta love Pretty Tony's fly and luxurious imagery throughout. Then for track 5, I have Nightmares to Dreams by Styles P and Havoc. It's one of the highlights from their Wreckage Manor album. The production is very nostalgic, reminding me of 90s Havoc production, and Styles P floated on both verses. Next, for track 6, I have Bass Money by Westside Gunn and Lil Wayne. The beat from Danny LaFleur sounds a bit Wu-Tang inspired. It's dirty and rugged, and Lil Wayne came through with one of his top feature verses from the year. Next, I have Long Live Dolph by Gucci. This is a rest in peace tribute to the late, great young Dolph. It's one of the more heartfelt songs that I've heard from Gucci, and you can definitely tell that his friendship with young Dolph was genuine, and this has a dope, melancholy, and slower beat from Metro Boomin and Zaytoven. For track 8, I took it to Queens for the Lloyd Banks song Empathy featuring Freddie Gibbs. Now, production-wise, this is one of my favorites from the Cudi album. Banks had 2 dope verses, and I dug Gangsta Gibbs' performance as well. Right after, I had 200 Pies by Conway and 2 Chainz. I feel this is one of the standouts from his La Machina album. This Alchemist beat is very elegant and drug dealer chic, and 2 Chainz also impressed me with his verse. For track 10, I decided to turn up the energy a little bit with the Boldy, James, and Benny the Butcher track, Brickmile to Montana. This has a fantastic trap-like beat from The Alchemist and great double time flows from both Benny and Boldy. Next, for track 11 is Slums by Grafh, Cyhi the Prynce, and 3D Nati. This was a dope record produced by the late great DJ Shay from Graph's Stop Calling Art Content album. While both Grafh and Cyhi had strong verses, it was 3D Nati who completely stole the show. Then, right after, I have one of my favorite songs from the year in general, and that's Hell on Earth Part 2 by Westside Gunn, Conway, and Benny. The beat by Sovereign felt like if the RZA and Havoc collaborated back in 1995, and Conway completely left Earth with his entire verse. For track 12, I have Tabula Rasa by Earl, Sweatshirt, and Armand Hammer. Now these are two artists slash groups that I don't listen to all that often, but I like the bright piano and soulful chops, as well as Earl and Armand Hammer's unorthodox deliveries. It was something a little different to switch things up. Immediately after, I have Diamonds by Dave East, produced by Harry Fraud. This was one of the highlights from the Dave East Hoffa album. The soul sample from Harry Fraud is completely lavish and stellar. It's just a great sonic vibe. For track 15, I have Store Run by Nas, which is one of the best songs from his impressive King's Disease 2. The soulful Hit Boy production really works well with Nas's descriptive storytelling, and this is the one Hit Boy and Nas track that I feel most purists seem to love. Then I decided to mellow things out a bit with Mozzy's Straight to Fourth. This was a heartfelt and melancholy song from Mozzy's Untreated Trauma album. Now, as far as somber and contemplative tracks go, this is one of my favorites from the year. Yeah, the sample was pretty incredible. For track 17, I have Moneybagg Yo's If Pain Was a Person. This was another standout from the Moneybagg Yo album. I dug the If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right soul sample. And I liked how Moneybagg was giving us more of his personal and emotional side on this one. Afterwards, I have J. Cole's Applying Pressure. The boom bap production was very hard-hitting and 90s inspired. Also, J. Cole scorched this track with his hungry delivery. He was really in his bag, talking his talk and flexing on haters. Then for track 19, I have Skyzoo's I Was Supposed to Be a Trap Rapper, which is easily my favorite song from his All the Brilliant Things album. Here, Skyzoo spazzes over a classic breakbeat and even raps over a trap instrumental at the very end, and he does so with ease. But given the vibe of that particular trap beat at the end of the Skyzoo song, I decided to take it down south to Tennessee for the R.I.P. Young remix by Isaiah Rashad, Project Pat, and Juicy J. This is just a smooth and wavy track that taps into that Memphis 3-6 aesthetic. Project Pat killed his verse, and Juicy J did his thing as well. So I decided to stay in Memphis for the following song, Case Closed by Young Dolph and Key Glock. This has an insane bass heavy beat from the producer Band Play that is super lit. So RIP to Young Dolph, he will definitely be missed. For track 22, I have Hot Wind Blows by Tyler the Creator and Lil Wayne. This has a vibe heavy flute beat from Tyler the Creator that was pretty impressive, and the Wayne feature also stood out. Then what follows is a track that is without a doubt one of the best songs from the Ransom and Rome Streets collaborative album, and that is Rooftop Sermons, produced by V-Dawn. The lyricism from Ran and Rome is at elite levels, and the darker soul production from V-Dawn is one of the best on the album. If I had to narrow it down to only 5 songs from the year, this would definitely be one of them. Now, because Rooftop Sermons was such a powerful and lyrically dense track, I wanted a mellower tone for the following record to kind of give the ears a reprieve. So for that, I chose We Outside by Stally, produced by Apollo Brown. This is a smooth money-making anthem with a stellar synth beat from Apollo Brown that has that late night driving under city lights feel. Then for track 25, I have the Hit Boy produced Greener Knots by Maxo Cream. This was a single from the Houston rapper Maxo Cream's Weight of the World album, and one of the standouts from that project. I loved Maxo's introspection and storytelling, and Hit Boy laced them with a suave and flavorful beat. Then I followed that up with Black Illuminati by Freddie Gibbs and Jadakiss. It has a crisp and neck-snapping type of instrumental, and Jadakiss completely body bagged this beat. Following this, I have the 2 Chainz track, Mortgage Free, produced by the legendary DJ Premier. This was a dope record that I feel went under the radar for some. Here, 2 Chainz dropped some bars about financial freedom and living prudently. He's giving out some thoughtful and mature game, and I love that he got to rock over a Primo beat. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this. Then right after, I have Ostertag by Stove God Cooks from Westside Gunn's Hitler Wears Hermes 8. And I just loved the vintage blaxploitation production from The Alchemist. It was a godly and elegant instrumental, and Stove God had multiple rewind-worthy bars, and I'd say it's one of his best performances of the year. For the second to last track, I have the 2-part song All Wrong plus Bucktown Salute by Eddie Kane and Rim, produced by Big Ghost Ltd. This is a raw and Timberland stomping record where Eddie Kane and Rim do a back and forth Smith & Wesson style over a soulful beat from Big Ghost, and then there's the Bucktown instrumental for the second half. It just has that classic Bucktown Brooklyn feel. Then I closed out the playlist with the Styles P Hit Different. I couldn't think of an iller song to close this out than Hit Different. I was contemplating Benny and Conway's Fly Away, as I like that track a lot, but I decided to go with Styles P. So that was my list. I probably could have hit y'all with another 20-pack, but I decided to keep it at 30. Sure, there are some great songs that didn't make this list, but that's because I didn't like how they sounded with the other songs on the playlist. Like, for instance, I played the following songs a lot this year, but they didn't make my list for that specific reason. Ransom and RJ Payne's Red Wedding, Ransom and Rome Streets' Claudine, Drake, 21 Savage and Project Pat's Night Talk, and Mac Hami's LeBeau. Those are also some of my favorites from the year. And there's some more too, but those are my top 30. Feel free in the comment section to list some of your favorites from the year. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Happy holidays. One.